Okay, we're back and it's time to get this show started. Time to talk it out over tea and biscuits here on A Cup of Joe this morning. Brought to you by the friends at Bachelor Tea and Pepperidge Farm Biscuits. Guys, over the course of the season thus far, you would have been hearing a lot of the phrases that we've been using. Eat local, made local, buy local, cook local. That's been a theme on Cup of Joe, not only this season, but we've had that throughout the course of our existence. And this season, as I said, probably a bit more. Eat local is a phrase that has come about, I think, especially within this recent time where the economic times are a bit tight and the need for us to invest in our own economy and keep it alive and pumping. That's why we brought this morning to the table here on Talk It Out on a Tuesday. And we brought back a very familiar face in Omardath Maharaj, our in-house agricultural economist. He's back with us. And he's brought a friend of her name, closest to me, Natasha Lee. She's the president of the 4-H organization here in Trinidad and Tobago. The 4-H club, as I knew it back then, was an agricultural-based club. I was part of that 4-H club as a schoolboy.
Yes, 4-H has been in existence in Trinidad and Tobago for quite a number of years. I think since 1969.
Yeah.
And over the years, we have tried to revamp the movement. And it's volunteerism, only teachers, mainly teachers, I should say, some parents. And it is alive and kicking in Trinidad and Tobago.
Encouraging children to get involved in agriculture.
Yes, encouraging children, not only in agriculture, although it's agriculture-based, we try to develop the children holistically using the other H's, head, heart, hands, to build on the health. Right,
nice. Now, guys, the main reason we're here, and let's get straight into it, let's dive straight into it. Eat local sounds like a wonderful phrase. Over that, you know we have discussed this time and time again. And my question to you directly is, eat local, how easy is that to do? We're now bombarded by everything that is foreign. You go in any grocery store around town and elsewhere, there are foreign products all over the shelves. Eat local is harder, easier said than done.
I agree with you there, and that is not something that is a no-time experience in the sense that if you walk into the average supermarket store and you look randomly across the shelves, the majority of that, 90% maybe randomly, is imported foods. And when we talk about local foods, people have the impression that we only mean the provisions, maybe some meats, the salads, the smoothies, these sort of things. But the local food industry is actually more versatile and dynamic. But I want to draw your attention to, when we talk about eat local now, that conversation is very broad. In the sense that where do you begin to comprehend this thing and the importance of the local food industry to our fiscal or our national health, right? The conversation here is specific to education and children, at least for this time, because we have with us, of course, Ms. Natasha Ramke soon. But the main point is that in August, the world would have observed something called World Breastfeeding Week. And that drew my attention to look at some of the statistics in terms of what do we feed our children alternatively. And if you look at the statistics, UN Comtrade statistics between 2013 to 2015, Trinidad and Tobago, little Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean would have imported over $1 billion in cereals and the necessary instruments to feed our babies. So we have conditioned their taste from birth to eat these imported cereals and so, but these things are not chenet flavored, mango flavored, and all these nice things.
Right.
These are
it's
cinnamon.
Not local fruit flavored.
Exactly. So these are cinnamon, apple, pear.
Yes. All those lovely flavors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you tell a child, no, eat a local fruit,
right.
You understand? We can't let people, especially children, feel that eating local is a form of punishment. I view eating local as an act of patriotism. We are supposed to be proud to support our farmers or the men and women who feed our nation. But if you draw that simple consideration a little wider, we didn't start import food in 2013. That has been happening for some time, and the children we would have fed those foods and conditioned their tastes and preferences from a longer age are now within the secondary school age population and so on. And we see the statistics show that we have an increase in the non-communicable diseases, obesity, and all these things among our school-age population. And you go a few years further back into our history. I mean, you were inducted in 1969 or thereabouts in the 4-H, but some of these
not
people...
1969, just not 1969. But go ahead.
There wasn't a full match. But a lot of these people are now within our working class population.
Right.
They have the power of the spending dollar.
Right.
And they know foreign foods. They do not know how to seek out local foods and so on. But the local food industry is not a hunt. When we talk about eating local, it's not for hunting something. I think it encourages a certain level of creativity and innovation that the Cup of Joe actually allows to showcase. A lot of your things infuse the foreign appetite, but we infuse it locally, as we saw recently with the handmade pastas, the locally made cheese, and a lot of the other things.
Yeah.
So, and then in April, I could just draw a quick reference to, we had the Eat Local Challenge that month in April.
Right.
It was a partnership with the Green Market in Santa Cruz and so on, where some of us who led the challenge ate 100% local, which is for a month, which is we boil seawater to make salt. You know, we don't need to recap history. But the fact is, it's a wonderful experience, and I think there's a lot of kinship that actually is associated with food and the things you put into your body that allows you to know where your food comes from, how it is produced, and especially so the circumstances in which our farmers and fishermen live.
Natasha, because I want to just jump on that as tiny tots. We, as Omardath, that's an important point. We actually feed our tiny tots all the foreign flavors. When you get them at the 4-H club at probably teenagers, is it difficult now to transform teenagers' minds in terms of the importance of eating local?
Okay, well, for me, I'm in primary school right now, and 4-H begins in primary school.
Begins in primary school.
Yes, so we look at probably ages from standard 1, which would be age 8 onward, until 12. That's our area in primary school.
They want pears and apples.
Move on to secondary school. We have 4-H in secondary schools, and they want pears and apples.
They want pears and apples.
You can't give them for Christmas. Christmas is coming up,
so
they expect pears and apples in their Christmas bag.
Don't get them a Portugal.
No Portugal, no. Watermelon, Portugal, you know, pomerac, pomsite. They don't mind having it as chow.
Right.
They will eat that as a chow, but they don't, I don't know, they don't think of it as a fruit like an apple or grapes or pears.
That's the point there. That's the power of food marketing, or what you call agricultural marketing, because when you look at apples being advertised on cable television, which is of course Western media, which is designed to promote their own local economy. You see these lush fields, people happily picking stuff and so on. And when you think about local agriculture, you see a man in a bush, van shot down, big cutlass.
Like
stress.
So, like the table on the Farmers Association. Guys, taking a short break. We're continuing after this. We're talking it out on a Tuesday. We're talking about the importance of eating local. I want to ask the guys after the break, why? How important is it really to eat local? And we're also celebrating Eat Local Day tomorrow, the 14th of December, and that is happening tomorrow. A lot of events happening around that. We're taking a short break. We're coming back. We're talking it out over tea and biscuits. Why eat local? How can we eat local? We're coming right back. Bachelor Tea, made from only the finest quality tea leaves, allows for an exclusively premium cup of tea. Bachelor Tea, unique and familiar flavors with Ceylon's best green, black, and herbal teas. Takes you on a trip to exotic isles with every sip. Bachelor Tea, for any occasion. Available nationwide and distributed by Vemco.
Open up to possibility. Memorable moments are only minutes away. It all starts with a Nescafe.
The hunt is on. The warriors of the Meatmouth tribe fan out to stalk their prey. They pounce upon the ample supply of their favorite species. The leader prowls. Then, at last, the moment. With skill, the leader homes in on the prize lying there, waiting to be plundered. Sensing success, the other hunters join in the feast of the senses. Magnificent, mouth-watering, fine cuts worthy of the Meatmouth tribe. Victory. The Meatmouths celebrate. The tribe is nourished. Meatmouths know that for the best meats, the only place to hunt is Massey Stores.
Welcome back, folks. On set, we have a locally grown fruit and vegetable basket. And all the fruit, I'm seeing honeydew, lemon, this is grapefruit, oranges. These are cherry tomatoes.
Yes.
The expensive cherry tomatoes.
Are grown locally by a gentleman in Cuba using a hydroponic system, yes.
Can I?
Yes.
I'm hoping I can do this, yeah.
And they're supposed to be sweet.
I never knew that was grown locally.
Yes. Yeah.
So, guys, the question as to why, because if I see a lovely packaged foreign pack of cherry tomatoes, and why should I choose a local brand of cherry tomatoes as opposed to what I think is far superior?
Let me start. There are two quick reasons. One is, this is not my quote, of course, but there's something that says food imperialism is a form of social imperialism.
Oh, Jesus.
And I think you might
Take
be
the
caught
agricultural economist to come up with a phrase
Well,
like that.
big sociology. There's a big rural sociology behind agriculture, but I think that when you think about the foreign foods, the
Yeah.
package, the
You think it's
agricultural
better.
marketing, you think that's better. That's one. And two is, what gives you the interpretation that these locally grown things are not as good or even better? You see? So I think that when
That
we
was
eat
pretty
local,
good.
exactly. But I don't have the health statistics, of course, to get into all of it. But when we talk about the imperialism and ascribing to be better and raising the standard of the local food industry, it takes you to one other thing, which is simply the economics of agriculture. And when you look at the food import bill, for example, it was on average $5.5 billion, all right? And for one simple reason, if you look at the foreign exchange pressure, that cost of us feeding ourselves on imported food is going to rise and will rise each year going forward. But not only that, when we import all these foods, what are we doing? We are actually exporting job opportunities. We are giving away the incomes that our own nationals could earn. And more than that, we are supporting the food industry of a foreign country. We are supporting their farmers who would have also benefited from subsidies and whatever it is they have on offer there.
I'm
while
not supporting our
industry.
farmers.
So those are two simple reasons
Yeah.
why we must eat local.
No, based on that, you broke that down very nicely, Omardath, but based on that, I come back to probably the 4-H
schools.
movement. Because is that now means that we probably have to stress more on educating our people. We may not, I never knew this was grown locally.
Education can start simply with our school breakfast and lunch and encouraging the children to eat the meals that come from our local farmers, because many times they prefer eat a scoop of mashed potatoes, which should have been the bulk pack from Price Mart, over butter cassava. And you see it when the boxes are being thrown away, that they push the cassava aside and another day the mashed potatoes will come and they'll have all of it. So a simple thing as educating them as to the importance and the nutritive value that would have been gained out of the cassava over the packaged mashed potato is a very simple way to start with the children.
Is that being done, Natasha? I had to stop you, because is that being done? I mean, and this is called Talk It Out Tuesdays, yes? But is that being done? Why are we talking? That sounds good, but is that being done? Is that education at a primary school level when a child is presented with a lunchbox and say, okay, instead of eating mashed potatoes, eating mashed cassava is healthier? Is that being taught?
It's not being done at the level and the quantity that is required to bring the children to that level of understanding. With our 4-H clubs, in the schools that have 4-H clubs, the children of those clubs and in those schools, they are a lot more aware of it, because they would grow in their schools. Some of them have open field cultivation, and they would grow all their lettuce and they would wash it and use it as a salad on the day.
The children?
Yes, that it is harvested.
In the 4-H clubs?
In the club, and they distribute it to other classes. We have tilapia being grown in the schools as well, and they harvest it, and the teachers will assist them to clean it and cook it there. So if we get more of this into some of our primary schools, get the agriculture going, get the gardens up and running where they can eat what they grow what they eat, and start to encourage them into being patriotic towards agriculture and food and their own farmers.
That's doable.
But if I could add a quick point, in addition to the formal school curriculum, yes, the level of agri-education may not be as disaggregated and distilled as we would want it to be. I have had the support of farmers and fishermen across this country who partnered with the 4-H Club over the years, especially Miss Natasha, to bring that sort of farmer education, because we think there's a lot of indigenous knowledge that is to be had, not only in the planting and the reaping, but in appreciating the fruits of the soil and in appreciating the men and women who feed us. And that has seen us move with the 4-H movement into a lot of things. We did one of the most significant beach cleanups in this country that took children, over 200 children, to Larry Tread Beach in Maruga. That's where the road infrastructure ends. And the participation, but not only to clean up the rubbish that Joe and his family would have left from the nice Pela and all of that, but the important message of that, there's a message behind everything. And the message of the education there is that the food industry itself produces a lot of waste. One, there's the waste produced obviously by the food industry, which is the food and the beverage containers, the plastics, the Cyrotex and all of that. There's wasting food, the message that children should not waste food.
Yeah.
There are people in this country who go without 3 meals per day.
Yeah.
And there's something called food loss. Food loss is after the farmers and they invest all their blood, sweat and tears into producing food. By the time it reaches on the east-west corridor and the urban centers, as we would say, a lot of it is spoiled, it's wasted, it's lost in transition. But that's a significant thing. Food loss is actually lost opportunities for rural and coastal communities and so on.
Yeah.
So that was the message. But a few of the education activities involve the National Fruit Festival. And coming up tomorrow, we have Eat Local Day.
Let's talk quickly just a minute, Omar, because tomorrow
is Eat Local Day. Eat Local Day started in 2012. It was a farmers' celebration of our anniversary of independence. We continue to believe eating local is an act of patriotism. It's celebrated within this festive season, Christmas and the Carnival, where there's a spike in the consumption of imported food and beverage. And we believe that we should parallel all these festivities with some form of education, because while we eat all the wine and jam and the imported hams and all of this, there is a local substitute or a local meal or input that could be parallel to all of this. And I think it sets an important tone for us to showcase what we have here in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, guys, Eat Local Days on tomorrow. It's across the country, or is it in
Well, we are just a small group of farmers, but we
Yeah.
have support from around the
Right.
country. We publicize it and so on. It's held at the Enchanted Gardens Banquet Hall in Princestown. The
Right.
admission is simply any local fruit, vegetable, food, beverage,
Nice.
art, craft, or performance.
serious?
Total local.
Serious. Okay, come and sing my calypso for
And
2016.
4-H will be there
But,
to
is
take
it-
part, and if they are not at the function, they
Right.
will be doing it in their schools as well.
Eat Local Day, it's on tomorrow. Guys, this discussion and this conversation will continue here on A Cup of Joe. Next week we'll further it, and it will continue, because I just think it's an important thing to make sure we educate our society. Thank you very much, Omardath. Thank you very much, Natasha, for dropping by and starting the conversation in a serious way. As I told you guys, this season more than any other, we were stressing on eat local, made local, cook local, buy local, and we just think it's important for us to understand more than anything else why. And this is a good start in terms of not only educating our adult society, but our children as well. We take a short break, because that's it for Talk It Out on a Tuesday over tea and biscuits. We want to thank the folks at Bachelor Tea and Pepperidge Farm Biscuits. These biscuits are very good, folks. Pepperidge Farm Biscuits. Make sure you have one before you leave. We take a short break. We're coming back. Fit Food Fast, next.
Talk It Out over tea and biscuits is brought to you by Bachelor Tea and Pepperidge Farm.